So someone asked me what bike stand I use. I typically use the Pit Posse Motorsport. I set it on the lower of the settings, as you can see. If the arm was hooked up to the lower one, it would go up higher. So I set it on the higher one so that it lifts up lower. So instead of putting the bike way high up in the air, then it puts it a little bit up in the air. So there's a little foot thing there that releases it. And you just step on it, put it back up. Pretty much how it works. And so all my bikes. So I have one stand right there, it's out. I'll talk about that one. I have another stand over here, it's out. But all of my other bikes, or all the bikes, actually have this stand except for this one there actually has the MSR, and that was given to me by somebody else. I didn't buy it, so since someone gave it to me, I was using it. But other than that, I always buy the Pit Posse ones. That one there, the MSR has a wider stand, but it's bigger, you know, a little heavier. These ones are more easy to kick around. That's why I like them. Now this one over here is one that I use to go riding with, and that's why it's just dirty. But I have through there, I have this connection, and what I do with it is I run it through everything and lock it in so that whenever I'm driving, this is locked into the trailer or into the back of the truck, and the gas can and the gate or the ramp are all locked in this, and that way they don't go fly out the back of the truck. So that's why that one's reserved for riding. The ramp I used to use this ramp here. Worked fine for many years. This fly racing ramp, about for like 60 bucks or something. In 2008 probably, maybe a year or two ago, someone had bought this and gave it to me. They bought it for loading a different bike and they needed it once, so then I ended up with it. So, and then I've been using that one. So the yeah, as you can see, all my bikes are using the Pit Posse. Again, I haven't had any problems with it, and I've been using them, you know, since probably 2008 or 2007. So never had a problem with any of them. So the other thing is, when I load up my bikes, I always use these. These are fork supports. So load up my bike, and I put these under here like this, and I clamp it down, and that way that you don't have to put so much pressure onto the front forks. And if these front forks ever blew a seal while they were pinned down, this thing here is tight against here, so the seal doesn't matter anymore. That's not what holding these is in place. Versus if the seal broke and you just had that, then it could actually start going down into the tire because there's no pressure behind it anymore. So I use that, and I've used many different ones of these, but if I'm loading just one bike, I will usually use just two of these. These things here actually contract themselves. Let's see, they curl it out themselves. So you can adjust it that way and just automatically crank it in, versus having something else that's loose and pulls around. So this is very compact. Everything just goes back inside there like a measuring tape. So that's the one I use mostly. It's the easiest. But I do have several others that I use. They're not in the garage here though. I have sometimes used this orange one, but yeah, the other ones are in the back of my truck. So, but those are the things I use when I go riding. Hook up, I pretty much usually just get in the back of the truck. I'll hook up this to the front, hook up this to the other side front, and then I'll stretch it out far, and I'll sit it on the side of the bike. I'll sit, or not on the side, like on the side of the truck. I'll set this on top of the side of the truck as well. And once I roll my bike in, I'll have the fork here, this thing here, see on top of the truck roof. So I'll have that on top of the truck roof. And then I'll roll the bike up, I'll grab this off the truck roof, put it in. Then I'll grab this thing here, hook on the handlebars, tighten one side, got this one here, tighten this side, and then tighten them both evenly. So pretty much the procedure I use when I load up the bike is just have all the straps ready to go. And then what I also do when I load up the bikes is that ramp there, I never actually use it for the bikes. I use it to step on. It's my step stool. So when I'm getting the bikes off, I get this off first, put it down next to the ramp. And so I bring the bike off of the ramp, I step my back foot onto this, and I step my other back foot back onto the ground. So I use it as a little step stool. I used to have a little wooden step stool I used to bring before I had that. Before I came up with using that. But that started breaking. That was back in 2008. And then I started just bringing that extra stand. And that worked out. It's been worked out perfectly. So just step on it and as a little stool. So you have it. The bike stands I use and some of your stuff that I use to load my bikes. Hold it. Hold this bike. Somehow it's being held up. Not sure how, but being held up right now. Somebody